welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and boxing capital of the world. And of course, we have football. As you can see, my little props here today got to do with Damar Hamlin, number 3 from the Buffalo Bills, who was injured last week. Had cardiac arrest, and with the prayers and the hope, that's why I had to make something up. I did this myself to show that I care about people, and there is hope for individuals out there. And my prayers really helped a lot. And I was happy to see that he was released yesterday from the hospital. He was sent from one hospital to the other, from Cincinnati to where he lives, and he was released yesterday. And now he's back on track. Hopefully, we'll see him back on the field one day in the near future. I also want to congratulate my dear friend Deanne Cameron, who was recently appointed by the governor for title is member of the Commission on Aging of the state of Nevada. So, Deanne, I want to congratulate you on your position. You do a lot with the seniors in the community, and we've had her on my show several occasions, and the group with the aging, and from California, Chicago, and Nevada, and all states have a Department of Aging, a group out there, and we have individuals that are doing a fantastic job giving information to the seniors in reference to the do's and don'ts in life, just helping them to get along in life and learn a little bit more of what services are available for them out there. Well, today I want to start by, I strongly believe that we have to get our country together. And I think that for a better America, I'm not into politics, believe me. I'm equal. I'm like a referee. I'm neutral. I'm both sides. But I want to get my message, how I feel about things, the way things are going out there in this country. I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on I don't agree with. And they're talking about eliminating the stoves, the gas stoves. They want us to go electric. Come on. You know, I think they're crossing the line already. I got friends that own restaurants, and they're going crazy. They joke, can you believe this? They want us to go electric, and we've been on gas all these years. The cooking is entirely different when you cook. You can't use a wok when you cooking Chinese food on electric. You know, it's all gas. You know, so anyway, we gotta put a stop to this. I hope that our government decides to get away with that, because, you know, then the prices, who's going to pay for this new equipment to change from gas to electric? Who's going to pay for it? You are going to pay for it. You know, the owners of the restaurant, a lot of them are going to have to close up shop. And then if you go to a restaurant, you got to pay more money because they got to jack up the price if they go to electric, you know, and us, the consumers, are going to be the ones that are going to be hurting in the long run. But anyway, we got to put a stop to that. That's all. I guess they got nothing better to do. But I believe that we got to stay away from all of that. I stay away from politics, but that's something that's out there, so I got to put it out there to let you guys know how I feel about it. Anyway, I love my cooking. My mother, you know, since she rest in peace, she was a great cook on that gas stove. We always had gas, and I love that cooking. The gas cooking is the best ever. Anyway, they like I said before, they're crossing the line and they're going crazy. So I think that we have to put a stop to that. Now, this show is, I provide this show for you guys on a weekly basis for you to understand that I care, and I want you guys to care and love one another. This is what the show is about, caring and sharing, so we can making sure that somebody sent me a text asking me, Joe, how do you get your beginning, growing up, how do you get started? Well, my answer to that is, my mother bringing us up the right way in Manhattan, Spanish Harlem. My mother and my father got divorced when we were young. I was about 4 years old. And so my mother did a good job raising the 4 boys by herself. And she kept us on the right track. One thing that my mother did was she used to always sit down with us. Every day we would talk about different things. She always tried to guide us in the right direction. And I think that's what was lacking today. A lot of family members are not sitting down with their children, talking about things. Sometimes you got to get things off your chest. Talk with them, to your parents, and see if they can guide you in the right direction. They brought you into this world, and they're going to give you the best direction they can to keep you on the right track. So we have to try to keep our families together, sharing the love and understanding, and keep paying it forward. I can tell you that I feel like there's so many things in life that are going on that we have to just, like if somebody sent me a text asking me, okay, why did I go into boxing? Well, I went into boxing, I guess, well, my brother Mike got into it first, but I really got into it because I was being tired of being bullied. I was bullied a lot. in Spanish Harlem. There were so many gangs around there, and the guys doing drugs and whatnot. And I didn't want to do none of that. I tried to join the gang one day, and they were throwing bottles. And I said, wait a minute, this is not for me. I'm not a violent guy. I'm a caring guy. I've always been caring since I was a young kid. I like to always try to be caring with everybody. I don't care about all walks of life. That was me. So that's why maybe I got into boxing, because I was caring about these fighters. I don't want fighters to take unnecessary punishment. I want to stop them from getting hurt. Anyway, but I got into boxing. My brother Mike started first. I got in a year later. I won my first Golden Glove championship in New York City, Madison Square Garden. I was 112 pounds of novice division when I won my first championship with 15,000 fans. I remember the great Gaspar Indian Ortega from Tijuana, Mexico. He moved to my neighborhood a couple of buildings over, and I met him. And through him, that's how my brother Mike got started in boxing. Then he got us in the right direction. He was like a big brother to us and kept us on the right track and kept us getting away from gangs. And we jump from one building to another. They call it jumping the alleys. We used to do that. Crazy stuff we used to do just to keep ourselves active. We had no fear back in those days until one day I fell off a wall and broke my jaw on both sides. Had the jaw, and lost a couple of teeth in the front. I was all messed up in the hospital for a whole month. But I was about 10 years old. Then when I went into boxing, when I was 15, I started training, and then a year later, won my first championship. My mother used to tell me, Joe, you're crazy. You cannot go into boxing. You got a weak chin. Your chin was broken twice already. They're going to break it again. Well, little did we know back then, that it made my jaw stronger, I think. 'Cause I never even got dropped in none of my fights, professional or amateur. I had 45 amateur fights. I had 2 losses. One was an international fight in Canada. I lost to a French-Canadian fighter by the name Marcel Belfait. I lost to him a split decision in Montreal back in 1961. And then I won for 3 years in a row at Golden Glove Championships in Madison Square Garden. I lost in the finals against some guy named, I forgot his name. Anyway, I lost my third year in the gloves. I won 2 out of 3 of the gloves with some bad. So did my brother Mike. And then I turned pro, and I had an 18-1 career in the pros. Even when I was in the Army, I joined the Army when I was 18 after I had a couple of pro fights. So I couldn't fight in the Army. So even though when I was in the Army, I was stationed down I was Fort Dix, New Jersey, did my basic training. Then I did my advanced infantry training at Fort Hood, Texas. And then I still was able to fight on the weekends. I would ask my commander to let me go on the weekends and fight different places on border towns. I even got to go to Hawaii while I was in the Army to fight over there several times. But it was a great career in boxing for me. It kept me on the right track. And I can tell you that when I was winning the Golden Glove Championships with 15,000 fans in Madison Square Garden, to me that was a hell of an experience, being 16 years of age. And it was a great experience. Like I said before, I won the championships, and my brother Mike, my last pro fight was in 1971 in Puerto Rico. I had retired, but I came back 3.5 years later. I still had that little burning inside in my stomach. I wanted the burning itch. I wanted to get the itch. I had the itch to fight again. So I came back again in Puerto Rico, and I fought 3 years after I was already retired. I came back, and I won. I fought a fellow by the name of Sala Chapelle. Sala Chapelle was a Dominican fighter. It was Dominican Republic against Puerto Rico back in 1971, and I was the first one to go out that night, and I won a decision over Sala Chapelle. And it was a great experience for me. And I tell you that somebody asking me, about my pen. I used to get a text. Somebody said about the pen on my lapel. Well, that pen I got when I joined the FBI Citizens Academy. They asked me to become a member of the FBI. So I'm an alumni of the FBI Academy here, Citizens Academy in Las Vegas. Every state has a Citizens Academy. And I was happy to be in the inaugural class, 2004, where I became an alumni of the FBI. I'm not an FBI agent, don't get me wrong, because if I was an agent, believe me, a lot of things that are going on right now won't be going on. I'll be playing it right. Anyway, that's what this pin on my lapel is today that I'm wearing. I also have, I travel around the world. I referee 176 championship fights all over the world, and here in the United States, especially in Nevada and in New York, New Jersey. I was able to do most of my world championship fights, and I always wear my little gloves, my little gold glove that I wear all the time to, just because I'm loyal to the sport of boxing, just like I'm loyal to you guys out there. I really want to see you guys get together and keep loving one another and keep keeping that positive attitude moving forward in life and whatever you do. So I think it's good to keep going forward always. You can't stop me from going forward. It can't stop me. I'm like a fighter. I was always wanted to win. I wanted to keep going forward. I wanted to make sure that I did the right things. So I always try to keep myself from not going crazy. So when you get mad one night, you're not thinking right. You cannot rationalize when you get mad. So in boxing, I used to try to get my opponent to get mad. So this way he would open up. He was thinking about defense. He was opening up to try to get me. So I got him upset. And I knew that by getting upset, you can't think right. You're going to make mistakes. And that's what happened with us in life. If we don't take care of ourselves and don't watch ourselves, we get upset about little things. Don't get upset. You try everything. You have a solution to everything. And I think that if you see somebody who's doing something wrong, try to talk to them in a nice way. Don't confront people. Because sometimes you confront individuals out there, and they the way it is today, they either pull out a weapon or something, and you gotta be very careful. Use a good, solid judgment when you're out there walking the streets. You want to go out at nighttime or something. Some people like to go to the park and walk around, take a walk in the evening instead of maybe doing it in the daytime. Some people work during the daytime. They have to do the exercise walking in the parks in the evening. But I say be very careful. Carry a little taser with you and those little flashlights with a bright light on it that you can put in somebody's face if somebody tries to attack you, especially the young ladies out there. They have these tasers. I tell my daughters, I got them all a taser one time. I don't know if they use them, but I gave it to them so they can use it, keep it in their pocket when they go out for a walk, keep it in your hand. You get in your car, the first thing you should do is lock your doors, keep the taser on your side there, because you never know when you have to use it. But you have to use safety because a lot of individuals out there don't care about your life. They're ready to take you out. Look what happened to these 4 students out in Moscow, Idaho. They killed these 4 students, and I just feel so sad that this world's coming to where it's at right now. You got a father killing his wife and leaving children behind. All these things that are happening today, it ain't put on the news. I'm afraid to put on the news because you hear all these negative things that are going on, all these crazy people out there doing stupid things. I would offer my condolences to Priscilla Presley, who just passed away last night at the age of 54. And I always call everybody. I tell my brother Michael, I was talking to him today. I said, Michael, he said, Joey, how come you call me so often? I said, Michael, I call everybody often because you never know when is the last time you're going to speak with them. Priscilla Presley was okay a couple of days ago. Yesterday, one day later, she's died, a heart attack, At least that's what they're saying is happening. It's not the full results, but they think it was she had a cardiac arrest yesterday afternoon. They rushed her to the hospital, and she died at the hospital. But, it's sad to hear that, and that's why I call everybody up and tell everybody how much I care about them, how much I care, how you got to pay it forward, always help one another. Wherever you can help out, especially with the youngsters out there. It's always good to talk to these young folks out there, to put them on the right direction. I like to talk to adults as well. Deanne Cameron, she has invited me to the senior program to talk to seniors because I'm an inspirational individual. What I went through with COVID 2020, and it seemed like it was yesterday. My life was going perfect and whatnot up until I got COVID. I was hospitalized for 5 months. And, they didn't think I was going to make it. Most of my friends thought it was over for me. I got so many text messages, emails from individuals wishing me the best. I said, guys, I'm not dying yet, but it was something I didn't feel I was going to make it. And some of my friends told me, hey, Joe, listen to you on the phone. Sometimes you were not making sense when you were talking to us because you were hallucinating from the medications you were on. I said, but you know what? They kept me alive and kept me going on the right track. And did I make some mistakes? I made some mistakes while I was under the medications because I said a lot of things to people that I should have not said, but I was not in my right frame of mind. So I've asked for forgiveness for my mistake that I made back then. And to this day, I still say those who still don't understand how I was so angry with so many people. You know what? You would be in my position, you'd be angry too, you know. But I learned, I prayed to God to keep me on the right track, to give me the strength to keep going forward and keep helping out in the community, which is what I'm doing now. I would bring people here to the studio. Sometimes just fans of mine want to come to hang out and watch me do the show. Unfortunately, I don't have anybody here today, but that's why I'm doing this show. That's why I had to make these little props that I got up here for DeMar Hamlin. It's amazing how he's 24 years young, and everybody's praying for him. I have a grandson, Bryce Hampton, who plays with Purdue University, number 0, and they won the Western Conference Division title a couple of weeks ago. They lost to Michigan State, and then they played at USLU and USLU at in Orlando, Florida, 2 weeks ago, and they lost there as well. But Bryce was able to get the most tackles on his team that day for the game. So they were watching him because he's a young, talented individual. He's playing really good. And Purdue, I think they're going to be doing better next year. Like any teams out there, you know, he's like a fighter. Sometimes you win some, you lose some, you know. And I tell fighters and people in general in life, you're going to win some arguments, you're going to lose some, you know. It's like the political arena, you know, I stay away from. But, you know, you win some, you lose some, and you have to try to even it out and try to balance it out where everybody's happy in the long run. We want to see people unite out there. I want to see people to try to get themselves together and showing the young folks to respect others out there and, you know, stay on the right track. And I strongly believe that we have to start making changes. Now at the beginning of the year, especially the beginning of the year now, what a great feeling knowing that you can make changes in people's life. But remember this, that one thing I would say that sometimes you get to a certain level in life, and you get to a level, and not everybody is going to be at your side. You get to a certain level in life, not everybody is going to be in your life forever. Some are they're temporary, sometimes it's just for short term, they buy you. Sometimes you reach a certain altitude, you know, like a rocket ship. A rocket ship, you know, when they get certain altitude, then the booster falls off. Well, that's the same thing in life with people. It's not that they're bad people, they just can't keep up with your skills. And that when you reach a certain altitude, they drop off and you keep going up to the top. And that's the way it is in life. So that means that you're trying to better yourself. They're good people, they just were not meant to be around with you forever. So you have to try to, you know, please understand that that's the way life is these days. You have to understand that not everybody is the same, not everybody thinks the same, not everybody has a good heart. I mean, I like to see people to share their knowledge and wisdom. I got my engineer here, Rick Manning. Rick Manning is a sweetheart. First day I met this guy, I said to myself, he's such a gentleman. Him and his wife, Jeannie, great people, great friends. And I'm loyal to him because he is a loyal individual, caring. You can see just talking to him, you know that he got a good heart. And that's what we got to have in life. Have good friends in your life. Try to be kind to your neighbors and just say hello to everybody. You give people a helping hand. And get involved in the community if you can. Get involved and help them out. And I just love sharing and caring to get you on the right track. I mean, I was a fighter. You would think that Joe's such a nice guy. Yeah, I was a fighter, but that's a sport. I wasn't trying to really be bad or mean. It was just a sport, like any sport. You want to win to get to a certain level. And I did it because I was being bullied so much, like I said before. And I was tired of that. I said, they got to stop that. So when I won my first championship, along with my brother Mike, we come back to 99th Street in Spanish Harlem. Now everybody wants to be our friend. All these gangbangers out there. Hey, Joe and Mike, how you guys doing? You know, great. See, now all that bullying stuff stopped. But, you know, there's ways of making changes in your life. So sometimes you have to find a way to say, how can I make changes? Where do I go? What's the next move do I make? And I said to you guys, you can start the new year by saying to yourself, making that commitment, you know, that you have to make your life a little bit better. You have to make lives for people around you better, especially your loved ones and your close friends. You know, sometimes we can agree to disagree. You know, we don't have to always be right, but, you know, sometimes somebody says something, you know, sometimes I learn something from somebody who says something, and I thought I was thinking differently, but I picked up from them and said, you know, but I'm the kind of person I like to rationalize. I like to say, you know, I want to learn. I don't think I know it all. I think the day you know it all, that's the day you got to pack it in. I tell us some referees out there in boxing, some referees think that they're the best in the world. I said, wait a minute, stop there. There's a lot of referees out there, great guys out there. I said, you know what? I learned from my mistakes, and I learned as I was going along. There's always room for improvement. I don't care how good you are. And no matter what field you're in, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, law enforcement, sports figure, whatever you do in life, there's always room to be even better. But you have to believe in yourself that you're not perfect. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But we have to try to minimize our mistakes. As a referee, I remember I was under the microscope. All referees and judges are under the microscope. And in your life as well, you're always going to be some people are going to be quick to criticize you, whether you're doing good or bad. And those people, I feel sorry for them. They should say, you know what? I wish I could be like Joe. I wish I can have the kind of heart that he had, the kind of feeling he has for people, the kind of guy that he is. He's always trying to reach out. I'm not trying to get rich off of anybody. I'm just trying to do the right things to get you guys on the right track, to believe in one another, to believe that we can make things happen for the best, especially when it comes to our families and our loved ones, our friends. And there's people who will try to make some changes in your life. There's times in my life thought it was going to be the end of the world for me. I have a daughter who was involved in an auto accident, and she ended up quadriplegic. But she was my inspiration. When I was in the hospital with COVID for 5 months with no visitors, I was thinking about her. I said, wait a minute, I can't freak out because my daughter Cindy, who's paralyzed from here down, doesn't complain about anything. She's as beautiful as they come. She drives her own car. She drives her own car. She drives better than me. She said, Daddy, how about we go someplace, but let me do the driving. I said, all right, honey. Her name is Cindy, a beautiful Cindy. She was 29 years old when she had the accident, and she's 54 years old now, a couple of years younger than me. But anyway, she's an amazing individual, but she has she gave me that inspiration of being so positive about life. I got people that are going through some difficult times, and I tell them, wait a minute, there's hope. There's always hope for you out there. There's always pray to the good Lord, the good God, to help you. I say, God, please help me, direct me in the right direction. I need a little bit more guidance and a little bit more help to keep me going forward. So we have to keep doing that. And I feel like sometimes in life we have to try not to do the wrong things in life. Like I said before, we're not perfect, but we learn from our mistakes. Sometimes you think it's the end of the world, but you know what? Sometimes you got to let go of some bad people in your life in order for you to get your life better. That's the way we're going to make it in this world. We have to always think positive and always leave the doors open. So some people, you always got to remember, don't burn the bridges behind you because you may have to come back across that bridge one day. And sometimes when if you burn those bridges, you can't get back. And always leave the doors open. I'm a strong believer of that. Whether it's in your business, whether it's your married life and your children, your friends, your neighbors, try to always leave doors open. Don't try to close doors on yourself because you never know when one day you got to reach out for them for a helping hand. I tell you that I was calling the Metro Police Department yesterday. A friend of mine, Detective Rivera, who retired. When I called him up to find out, he told me, they called me back. Hey, Joe, he's been retired. He retired in 2019. I said, wow, it's been that long already? Seemed like yesterday, him and I were talking about, he was involved with the gang groups here in Las Vegas. And I went in to see if we can open some doors to try to get these youngsters out there on the right track. There's not enough of us going out there talking. I remember one day I was talking to a group of individuals, FBI agents here in Nevada. It was 600 agents at the Hilton Hotel. They had a convention in town, and I was invited to be a speaker, a keynote speaker. And I was talking to them about how I grew up and how my life was difficult growing up, from a broken single-parent home, a broken home. And it was not easy, but I had a guidance from Gaspar Indian Ortega, the fighter from Mexico. Gaspar was such a nice man. He always kept us on the right track. He always tell us about doing the right things in life. And I continue to be that way today. I've learned. So I was telling those FBI agents, you guys are FBI agents. Just because you're an FBI agent doesn't mean that you may not have issues at home You may have your children, you may think that they're doing the right thing. They're all human. And I don't care, all walks of life, children will always meet the wrong people and they'll do the wrong things. So I was telling them that day, what I like to do is give a little bit of my time to the community, get out there and help the individuals out there, get the young folks on the right track. Years ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Jack Lacerado, who's a boxing inspector now at the Nevada State Athletic Commission. I got him in there about 20 years ago. When he retired he was a Clark County School District police director. And he asked me one day he said, Judge, there's an opening for you with the Clark County School District. You can work with the deans at Rancho High School and J.D. Smith Middle School in Las Vegas. We want you to, if you can go there and talk to these young kids. And I had an office at the Rancho High School and an office at J.D. Smith Middle School. And I would go there once a week to each one of those schools. And I would talk to these kids. I asked the dean, what kids are giving you problems here? So you bring these kids have problems. Every week, he had maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 kids that are giving problems. He sent them to my office. When I would get there, I would talk to these young kids, and I would tell them about how I grew up in Spanish Harlem from a broken home. I said, most of these kids here have gone through the same situation, broken homes, So you got to try to guide them, and I try to give them direction of how I did it, how I succeeded. I got to meet Judge Nally Terrell, who happens to be a judge at the Family Court District here in Nevada, in North Las Vegas. And she also happens to be a big Fight fan, and she was a judge. Still is a judge with the Family Court. She loved boxing so much. One day we went out for lunch, and I said, Judge Terrell, I want to make a proposal to you. Would you be interested in becoming a judge in boxing? She said, oh, my God, Judge, that'd be a dream come true. I said, I can open the doors for you. So I opened the doors for the amateurs. I got Pat and Dwan Barry, who run the Nevada Boxing Hall of Fame, the Nevada Boxing Youth Program here, the Barry's Boxing Club in Vegas, and they brought her in to be a judge for the Golden Gloves and the boxing tournament. So she gave me about 8 years judging in the amateurs. When I thought she was ready, I said, Nally Terrell, Judge Terrell, I got an opportunity at an opening for the Nevada State Athletic Commission as a professional boxing judge. And you know what she's doing today? She's judging professional fights as well. So, this is what I'm talking about, helping people, get more people involved in the community to do things. That's what I do best, helping these individuals. I got my friend, Alex de Castroverde Law Group, and he's another individual that's like a young son to me. He's an attorney, and him and his brother Orlando. The Castroverde Law Group. And they do a fantastic work here in the community. He's always out there doing different things. We met the other day talking about doing different things together. So hopefully I'll be helping him out with things in the community. I want we can reach out to these young kids out there and get these families to know that the Castroverde Law Group is out there to help out the community just like myself. And again, like I said, my friends, I will leave you in good hands, in the hands of God, that you keep going forward and making sure that you do the right things in life, but keep your faith in God and keep your faith that these are going to be okay. No matter what, you're going to make it. Keep going forward. Don't give up. Because if you give up, you're a quitter. And you got to be like me. I'm a fighter. I don't quit for nobody. And even if you get knocked down, you got to get up and keep going forward. Then I tell individuals, young folks out there, I say, sometimes you're going to be a champion in the ring, but look at life differently. I look at life on the positive side. I say, even if you lose, you know what? You're still a champion because now you're a champion in life. And this is what makes people say, wow, okay, I'm going to take a shot, because not necessarily you have to be a fighter in the ring, but be a fighter, a champion in life. That's what I want you guys to do. Try to understand where I'm coming from, because I care for you. I love my people out there, my fans, my viewers. Share that with you individuals out there. Show them that you care and you love them. You want to keep going forward in life. With that said, my dear friends, I'm going to say goodbye. Keep your guards up at all times. Protect yourselves at all times. And remember, guys, I'm fair, but I'm firm. Take care. God bless. See you guys next week. Bye-bye.